Okay, so you know how sometimes you just get sucked into like hours of scrolling through celebrity gossip
Oh, yeah. Total.
and you're looking at those picture perfect Instagram posts and red carpet photos,
Right.
and it's like you can't help but wonder what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, like what are their relationships actually like?
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we are going to ditch the superficial stuff and take a closer look at celebrity couples.
Okay, game.
We've got a ton of expert insights and real life stories to unpack.
Awesome.
Try to understand, the unique pressures, the
Mm.
perks,
Mm.
and maybe even some surprisingly relatable truths
Yeah.
behind those glamorous facades.
Yeah, it's funny because like we all know it's not all it's cracked up to be right.
Right.
Like they're living these crazy lives.
Of course.
But I'm always so fascinated by how invested we get in their relationships. Even
Totally.
when we logically know it's all playing out under this insane microscope.
Yeah, it's true. It's not like most of us have paparazzi camped out on our doorstep.
Right, exactly.
But for some reason, there's just something about their experiences that makes us feel strangely connected to them.
Mm.
So, like, what do you think it is about these relationships that makes them so captivating?
Yeah.
Even though we know so much of it is this mix of, like, reality and carefully crafted PR.
Well, one expert talked about how celebrity relationships offer this really potent blend of aspiration and reality.
Oh, I like that.
We see them living these seemingly perfect lives, going to exclusive events, wearing designer clothes.
Right.
It sort of taps into our desires and fantasies.
Totally.
But then at the same time, we also witness their very public breakups.
Oh, yeah.
The struggles with infidelity, their flaws and vulnerabilities.
It's all out there for the world to see.
Exactly, exposed on a global stage for everyone to analyze.
It's like watching a real-life soap opera, but with way higher stakes and way better wardrobe.
Exactly.
One minute, they're posting about their romantic getaway on a private jet, and the next, there are rumors flying around about a messy divorce.
Yeah, and I think that's where that relatable part comes in.
Okay, how so?
Because we might not be jetting off to private islands,
Right.
but we can all relate to the heartache of a breakup, the sting of betrayal, the challenges of making a relationship work amidst all the chaos of life.
Yeah, totally.
It's this strange paradox that makes these relationships both fascinating and strangely humanizing.
It's almost like their experiences become this mirror, reflecting back our own desires and anxieties about relationships.
Right.
Even if our day-to-day lives are completely different.
Exactly. And, because they're living so publicly, their experiences also tell us a lot about the pressures and expectations placed on relationships today.
Oh, that's interesting.
In a world dominated by social media and this 24/7 news cycle, it's like they're navigating those pressures on behalf of all of us,
Okay, I see what you mean.
giving us this glimpse into the potential pitfalls and opportunities
Yeah.
that come with that kind of intense scrutiny.
And speaking of scrutiny, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The constant media attention.
Right.
Just imagine every little spat, every date night, every whisper of trouble
Oh, gosh, I know.
turned into a headline with millions of people weighing in with their opinions.
I can't even imagine.
It's a lot.
It's got to be so much pressure.
Yeah, one therapist I read about compared it to trying to build a relationship in a glass house,
Oh, wow.
where every fight, every disagreement is amplified and analyzed,
Yeah.
and often twisted to fit a certain narrative.
I bet.
It's got to take a toll not just on the individuals,
Right.
but on the foundation of trust and intimacy.
Which is essential for any healthy relationship.
Exactly. So do you think all that pressure is inherently destructive? Or could it actually strengthen a couple's bond?
It's definitely a double-edged sword.
Okay, how so?
On the one hand, that level of scrutiny can definitely lead to insecurity, resentment,
Sure.
and even accelerate breakups.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But some experts argue that it can also force couples to be more transparent and communicative with each other.
Oh, that's an interesting take.
Like when the whole world is watching,
right.
they can't just sweep things under the rug or avoid difficult conversations.
It's true. They're kind of forced to confront issues head on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that, ironically, can lead to greater understanding and a stronger foundation.
So in a weird way, the pressure to present this united front could actually push couples to be more honest and vulnerable with each other.
Yeah, it's a fascinating dynamic, isn't it? It's like they have to overcompensate for all that scrutiny
Right.
by being even more open and communicative with each other,
Yeah,
which, I don't know, it's a good reminder for all of us
totally.
that transparency and vulnerability are essential for any relationship,
For sure.
whether you're famous or not.
Right. And it makes you wonder if those conversations they're forced to have,
Yeah.
if those actually lead to like a deeper intimacy in the long run.
Mm.
Because it's like they're constantly having to check in with each other and reaffirm their commitment,
Yeah,
which could be exhausting, but also like incredibly bonding.
definitely. And, on top of the public scrutiny,
Hmm.
they also have to deal with all the unique challenges that come with just being famous.
Oh, yeah, true.
We're talking about people with crazy, demanding careers,
Right.
actors filming on location for months at a time,
Yeah.
musicians going on these year-long tours.
It's insane.
So how do they maintain any sense of normalcy
Right.
or intimacy amidst all that chaos?
That's what I want to know.
It's tough.
I got to be honest. I don't think I would handle it very well.
What do you mean?
Like constantly wondering if my partner is off charming their latest co-star
Oh,
in
yeah.
some exotic location.
Yeah, the temptation and opportunities are definitely amplified in those circles.
Sure.
A lot of couples in the spotlight really struggle with trust issues,
Yeah,
jealousy, and just feeling disconnected
makes sense.
when you're constantly apart.
Especially with those crazy schedules.
Yeah. One celebrity couple actually talked about this in an interview.
Oh, really? What'd they say?
They said that prioritizing their relationship was key,
Okay.
even when their schedules were insane.
Easier said than done, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. They were saying they would literally schedule in couple time,
Wow.
even if it meant flying across the world for like a 24-hour visit.
Wow.
And they made a real effort to connect virtually,
Yeah.
when they couldn't physically be together.
That's sweet, actually.
It is, but it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, to make it work.
Yeah, to consciously prioritize your relationship
Totally.
when you're both being pulled in a million different directions.
100%. And on top of all that,
All right.
there's another layer of complexity that comes with fame.
Oh, yeah. What's
The
that?
constant attention and adulation from fans.
Oh, right.
Like, it's easy to see how that can breed insecurity and jealousy, even in the most secure relationships.
Yeah, you're surrounded by this constant reminder of your partner's desirability, which can be intoxicating.
Right. But also incredibly threatening.
Totally. And it's not just the fans.
Right.
It's the whole industry.
What do you mean?
Like the entertainment world thrives on these images of perfection
Yeah.
and desirability.
Yeah.
And that puts so much pressure on couples
I bet.
to live up to these unrealistic expectations.
It's like they're caught in this weird paradox.
How so?
Their careers depend on them being seen as desirable and unattainable.
Right.
But that very image can undermine the intimacy and authenticity of their actual relationship.
Wow.
And it makes you wonder how much of what we see from these couples is genuine connection and how much is just carefully crafted a public image.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, fame is a business.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And sometimes it feels like love is just another marketing tool.
Right. Like being seen as part of a power couple.
Yeah,
That does wonders for their brand
totally.
and their bank accounts. Of course, 2 A-listers are definitely better than 1
Always.
when it comes to selling magazines, movie tickets.
Influencing consumer choices.
Exactly. I was talking to a PR specialist the other day,
Oh, really?
and they were saying that a high-profile relationship
Yeah,
can be incredibly beneficial for both partners' careers.
makes sense.
They can leverage their combined star power for endorsements, joint appearances, even launching their own brands together.
Yeah,
It's like this symbiotic relationship professionally,
totally.
where their individual success feeds into their collective success as a couple.
Right, which makes sense from a business standpoint.
Exactly.
But it really blurs the lines
It does.
between love and public relations.
For sure.
Like, are we ever really seeing the real them?
Right.
Or just the version they've constructed for us to consume?
Yeah.
Is it even possible to separate the two? It really makes you wonder.
Right. Like, it's so hard to know what's real and what's not.
Totally. And it's like trying to solve a riddle wrapped in a mystery.
Right.
Inside an enigma, wearing designer sunglasses.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so fascinating to unpack.
Okay, but even with all the smoke and mirrors,
Mm-hmm.
don't you think there's still something to be learned
Oh, totally.
from these very public displays of, well,
Right.
whatever it is they're displaying?
Okay.
Like, can we actually take away any valuable insights about our own relationships,
Oh, yes.
even if we're not followed by paparazzi to our local coffee shop?
Absolutely. It's easy to dismiss these relationships as frivolous
Oh, yeah, for sure.
or just totally irrelevant to our own lives.
Right.
But when you really look closer,
Okay.
there's some surprisingly relatable takeaways.
Like what?
Well, one thing that comes up again and again,
Yeah.
and not just from experts, but from celebrities themselves,
Okay.
is the importance of open and honest communication.
Oh, for sure. Communication is key.
It really is. It's like they are living, breathing examples
Right.
of how crucial good communication is.
Especially with all the added pressure of fame and scrutiny.
Exactly. They mess up publicly. They work through things publicly.
It's true.
And sometimes they come out stronger on the other side.
And they often have access to, like, the best therapists.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Counselors, relationship coaches.
Right.
It's like we're getting a glimpse into high-level relationship maintenance.
Exactly.
Like we're accidentally eavesdropping on a really expensive therapy session.
Right.
Except the therapists are wearing couture.
Exactly.
And, one thing that often comes up is the importance of a strong support system.
Oh, totally.
Like whether it's friends, family, a therapist,
Yeah,
having people to lean on during tough times,
for sure.
that's crucial for anyone in a relationship.
100%.
Right.
But especially when your every move is being analyzed by the public.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's got to be comforting to have those people in your corner.
Yeah, you see that time and time again. Those who seem to weather the storms most successfully,
Yeah.
they often have that tight-knit circle offering unconditional love and support.
It's a good reminder that even with all the fame and fortune, they're still human at the end of the day.
Totally. They crave connection and sense of belonging just like the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what else I think is interesting?
What's that?
The way they're using their platforms to talk about real issues.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like when these seemingly perfect couples open up about struggles.
Right.
Like infertility, postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Even just the normal everyday challenges of making a relationship work. It
Yeah.
helps to kind of destigmatize those experiences
sure.
for everyone.
It's like they're giving us permission to admit that relationships are hard work.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's smooth sailing just because you're walking a red carpet.
Exactly. They're showing us the messier, more human side of love.
Yeah. Which is honestly really refreshing to see.
For sure. It's not about romanticizing their struggles.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we all face these challenges, just maybe on different scales.
Right. I like that. And there's this one couple I was reading about.
Oh, yeah.
They're really big advocates for mental health.
Okay.
And they talk very openly about going to therapy themselves.
I love that.
And one of their main messages is that love is a journey.
Ooh, I like that.
Not a destination.
It's so true.
It's about growing together, supporting each other.
Yes.
Through the ups and downs.
100%.
And accepting that there will be bumps along the way.
Love that. And that's something we can all apply to our own lives.
Right. No matter what our relationship status is.
Exactly. It's about embracing the imperfections.
Totally.
And finding the beauty in the messiness of it all.
Well said. Okay, so to wrap things up today, we've taken a deep dive into the wild world of celebrity relationships.
We sure have.
A world of amplified pressures.
Of course.
Unique challenges, and yes, maybe even a few genuine love stories sprinkled in there.
Maybe more than a few.
You never know. But I think the biggest takeaway is that even with all the glitz and glamour, there's still just people trying to navigate love and connection.
Just like us.
Exactly. And I don't know about you, but that gives me a little hope.
Me too.
So the next time you find yourself clicking on that tabloid headline or scrolling through those perfectly curated Instagram feeds, just remember there's always more to the story than meets the eye.
100%.
And maybe, just maybe, by understanding what makes these very public relationships tick, we can gain a little more compassion and understanding.
I agree.
Both for their very public journeys and for our own often messy attempts at love and connection.
Love that. So well said.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
Of course. This was fun.